Welcome home. I'm pleased to report that we have made all the arrangements for your safe return. I know this has been a difficult journey for you. I know the anxiety you feel being away from your families. I get your text messages. I imagine, however, that you have been reading and listening to the news, so you know that you are among more than 100,000 seafarers of different nationalities all across the world who are having these same challenges in being repatriated during this terrible pandemic. What you may not know is that you are also among close to 2,000 Jamaican seafarers who want to make their way home as well, and almost 9,000 Jamaicans in 88 countries right across the world who have already applied on the Jam COVID app to return home. It is important for your note that we have been in discussions with Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, your employers, from as far back as April 21, when we wrote exploring ways for your return. The cruise line has been very cooperative. However, cruise ships all over the world have had outbreaks and even deaths. Therefore, we have had to agree on strong protocols and make detailed preparations for your safe and convenient re-entry and to protect the public health for your families locally. The discussions with Royal Caribbean, which happened at the highest levels, were quite complicated and could not be publicly disclosed until they were finalized. Unfortunately, this created room for misinformation, mischief, and there's a lot of that going around, and your own uncertainty. Be assured, however, that without fanfare, we have always been diligently working to get you home, and you have never been forgotten. So let me share with you some information about this process and some of what has happened here while you were away. Because we agreed with the ship owners to get you here as quickly as possible, the ship will be alongside for refueling and restocking today, May 19th, and tomorrow, May 20th, so that this does not compromise the sterile area needed for the disembarking and testing process. The parish medical officer will board and declare the ship a quarantine area. This is for legal reasons, and you know that ships operate under special laws. We will phase your disembarkation for testing. After your sample is taken, you will be transported to a quarantine facility, at which point your 14-day quarantine period will begin. It may take approximately 3 days to receive your test results, and once your test is negative, you will be allowed to complete the remainder of the 14-day quarantine period at home. If your test is positive, however, you may be required to remain in a state isolation facility until you have been cleared by the health authorities. Please use this time prior to disembarkation to update your home address details to facilitate home quarantine, as well as to complete the immigration and customs C5 forms online. I also want to use this opportunity to tell you about some of the changes you will find at home since the pandemic. Jamaica has done well so far with the disease. Today is the second consecutive day with no new cases. This has been because of the strong measures, enforcement, and discipline and responsibility that the Jamaican people have shown. Where persons break the law, there are strict penalties, including fines as high as $1 million and up to 6 months in prison. These are not normal times. We are working hard to keep everyone safe. Masks are now mandatory in public places. Everyone has to wear a mask. I hope you are already wearing yours. We have limits on the number of persons who can gather in public spaces, no more than 10. Beaches, rivers, waterfalls, clubs, and other places of amusement are all closed. There is an island-wide curfew in place. We just started limited reopening of bars and churches, but they have very restrictive protocols and limited hours. Our seniors, everyone over 65, must stay at home, except to leave once per day for the essentials of life. This is because the virus is most deadly to the elderly and people who have comorbidities such as heart problems, diabetes, obesity, asthma, and other respiratory problems. So when you go home to complete your quarantine, please take it seriously. Not enough is known about the virus, so even if you feel fine, it is best to be careful. During your quarantine, give your mother, your father, your grandmother, or other elderly relatives a call. Tell them how much you love them, but try not to interact with them physically. Better safe than sorry. I know you have not seen your spouses, your significant others, your children, friends, for a long time, and you are anxious to do so. And even though you may have tested negative, there is still a risk of infection. So please faithfully wait out the incubation period of 14 days. As part of the home quarantine protocol, you will be required to download the Jam COVID app if you have not done so already, and to keep your phone charged. This is going to be the monitoring tool that allows you to quarantine at home. You will be required to submit a video check-in periodically during the day. I know these things sound heavy, they sound strict, and you just want to go home. I'll say it again, these are not normal times. So in the interest of your health, the health of your families and communities, the well-being of our public health system, our public health officers, our doctors and nurses, our security forces, and all our frontline workers, please take seriously the responsibility that comes with coming home during this pandemic. I say to you, welcome home. And when you get home to your home, stay home as much as possible and stay safe. Blessings, one love.